What's up?
My name is 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝘀.
My name is Ben.
We are back with a new video entitled 𝗀𝗿𝗵𝗀𝗀 Sunway.
For anyone who's new to Monash, if you want to get around more, we will be taking you around the hot spots, right?
Get your cameras ready. Let's
go.
So guys, we are at 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝘀. If you want to get your 10K steps, this is the way to travel.
Alright, so welcome to the BRT. We're here at a station. So the BRT basically takes you around Sunway City.
You can use your touch and go card, IC, Rapid KL card, or even tokens that they provide at machines. It's actually a very efficient way to travel around the Sunway City.
So we just got off, and right behind you see over there is Sunway Medical Center.
But of course, we don't want you here often because it's a medical center. So stay safe, stay hydrated, and we'll see you at the next checkpoint.
Alright, sure.
Let's go. So we are here at Sunway Geo Avenue.
So Sunway Geo is kind of like a mall, but not really. You can have food here, there's restaurants here, grocery shopping, you can do that here as well.
You can take the BRT from Monash to Sunway Geo within like 2 to 3 minutes.
And right now we're here in Rock Cafe. Yes.
Exactly. So you can find almost anything and everything here in Rock Cafe. Please come here during your long breaks and try to explore yourself.
There's so many types of cuisines for you to enjoy here at Rock Cafe, as well as next door,
𝗧𝗵𝗶𝘀𝗀.
It's a 𝗪𝗪. It's a Malay-Indian fusion type of cuisine. So please explore your taste buds and explore the various kinds of cuisines we have to offer here in Sunway City. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here at the final stop of the Jalan-Jalan Sunway tour. We are in Sunway Pyramid.
And for Monash students, it's about 5 to 10 minutes from
the
Monash.
BRT?
There are actually a lot of things that they can find here.
Arcades, the archery range, we've got bowling, we've got cinemas, we've got so many things to do here, honestly, we can't even count. If you want to find out, come here for yourself. Alright, so we're back. We really hope everyone enjoyed the video.
So for the very last time, this is 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝘀𝗀.
This is Ben.
Signing off.
Hi guys, I'm Sean.
And I'm 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗵𝗁.
Today we're going to have a Monash Cup Scrim session for practice prior to Monash Cup. So first I'd like to thank RL for providing us this opportunity to have a practice session because it's very important. Yeah.
That was good, man. All right. So I think we're having one series today. It should be a best of 3 series. As my co-caster said, it's a game between Leviathan A and Manticore A. So tell me, Sean, what's been happening in Dota recently? Because I have not been playing this game for a while.
Well, recently so far they released the 7.3 patch, which removed quite a few things, but they also introduced a few new neutral items to the game. So it will be interesting to see how these teams actually use those neutral items after a week since this patch has been released. Yeah.
So what else has been going on in this patch? So you say there are new neutral items. Like what sort of neutral items?
Well, I didn't go through the patch yet, but some neutral items, such as our favorite 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝘀, has sadly been removed. So it's quite a shame, actually.
Oh, they removed 𝗀𝗵𝗀𝗀?
They removed the 𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀, yeah. It's a pretty good item.
Hey, what's fun?
Wait,
right.
what?
Hey, this is damn crack, bro. Alright.
Also, I would like to thank our sponsors today, IRL Asia and RealMe, as well as Monash University for sponsoring this stream today.
So, what's big in the game right now in terms of heroes and that sort of thing?
In terms of hero, personally, I've experienced some really sick 𝗀𝗵𝗁𝗀𝗵𝗁 plays.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to go on to the picking phase soon. We'll see what sort of heroes these teams decide to pick for us today.
How's 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃 doing?
𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃, haven't seen him for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I used to play 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃 all the time until that thing got nerfed to hell.
Radiant team
All right, here we go on to the picking phase. Leviathan starts with the bans.
Dire team ban.
Luna ban. Luna was pretty annoying hero this meta. Honestly, don't really know why.
That's interesting. I don't know if there might be some
10 seconds.
if they maybe already have a plan on what they want to do. Maybe they have some pick that they specifically don't want to play against a Luna. But or perhaps they actually know a player in Manticore A, and that's why they ban out the Luna, because I think usually we tend to see more playmaking heroes get banned in the first phase.
Yeah, definitely.
Radiant team ban.
Yeah, so I think that's usually what you tend to see in the ban phase. So Manticore A actually banning out the 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃.
Dire team ban.
Terribly.
So if I was going to speculate, I would think that
I would think Leviathan is going for the mid game, early game.
yeah.
10 seconds.
They probably already have some sort of
Radiant team pick.
they know where they want to play, so they're just banning out these late game heroes. The 𝗀𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃 being banned by Manticore A as well. That's usually what we tend to see in the picking phase. These playmaking heroes.
Our first pick coming up, a Lion on Leviathan A. Good support.
Dire team.
Very all-rounded, but he got nerfed this patch actually. His finger doesn't do that much damage anymore. Mars on Manticore A.
I have seen some Lion players completely control the tempo of the game. I think at the TI10, might have been TI9, where we saw 𝗀𝗃𝗃 completely carry his team on the Lion. We see the Rubik coming out from Manticore A, which is a
10 seconds remaining.
to be expected sort of picks coming out right now.
5 seconds remaining.
We'll see what happens in the second phase. That's where things will get more interesting. Right now, on the off lane, Still plenty of choices, but I would think Leviathan A is going to open with another
Radiant
position
team
4
back.
first. No, they're going straight for a
post
life
one,
stealer.
yeah.
Okay, so I guess that sort of makes sense then, because like by going for a life stealer right after banning the Luna and the 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗀, like you can kind of see what they're going for.
Yeah.
They don't plan on.
Maybe they're doing something off meta. They're gonna try a life stealer post 3. They're trying to be funny.
But yeah, banning out other strong late game heroes, the Luna, the 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗀,
Radiant team
and then having
back.
their life stealer. So Manticore A banning out the Doom as well. So interesting that they're both banning specific roles here.
Yeah.
Manticore A has first picked their position 3 and are only banning position 3s. Leviathan A second
10
picking their position 1 and are only banning out position 1s.
It's a weird matchup. It's very weird.
5
But
seconds
we'll
remaining.
see what comes.
I think life stealer,
Dire team back.
especially like when you're playing against another
Yeah,
position
another
1
post
being
one.
banned by Leviathan A. Yeah, for getting a life stealer like against a Mars, having that magic immunity is pretty convenient.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good pick. And I mean also the
The
lion for that
sustain on the life
matter.
stealer as well.
The
10
lion for that
seconds
matter, like
remaining.
just being able to shut down the Mars and stopping the Mars from being able to have a good
5
initiation.
seconds remaining.
Yeah. And during the laning phase, the lion will probably suck up all its mana.
Radiant team back.
Can't do much without mana in it.
The Void Spirit being banned by Manticore A.
So do you think they're counter-picking each other, or they're just sticking to a
10 seconds
pre-planned
remaining.
counter-pick strat?
I
Dire
think
team back.
I mean, it's still pretty early in the pick phase, but Phantom
far-
Assassin being banned by Leviathan. So I think Leviathan obviously came into the picking phase with they know what they're trying to do, picking the life stealer. They plan on playing late. They're banning out all these carries. So, but yeah, I think it's only now
10 seconds remaining.
in the second phase of picks that we're going to start to see things be a little bit more interesting when they
5
start to
seconds
counter pick
remaining.
Yeah.
and that sort of thing. But right now you can see what they're sort of trying to do.
Dire team pick.
Another position 3.
The post 3 ban.
Radiant team pick.
Abaddon. Now, is that a spot, Abba?
I think it's definitely a support.
Definitely a spot, right?
Abaddon. I would think it's going to be
Radiant team pick.
off lane. I'm in a position for
Bristleback.
Abaddon.
Now, without a break, Manticore might see some problems dealing with the Bristleback.
I think, especially now that the post 4 and 5 have
10
been picked as well.
seconds remaining.
Hey, perhaps like I think Viper still breaks, right? Viper's
5
Venom.
seconds
Viper still breaks, yeah.
remaining.
Yeah, so perhaps Manticore might wanna do something about the passive of the Bristleback, or they might just pick magic heroes. But I mean, as Leviathan A has been doing, a lot of the carries are, well, to be fair, those are actually physical carries anyway. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, they might want to go for a magic strat, but then going for a magic strat, you're going against a life stealer.
Not really that
Dire
effective against
team
life stealer for sure. Ancient Apparition. That really shuts down the Abaddon ult. Can't do much when he's under the AA ult.
So
10 seconds remaining.
now we'll be seeing the post 1s and 2s coming out. The
5
post 2 for
seconds
Leviathan
remaining.
yet to be picked. Manticore might want to go for a hero that has break. So, well, I guess Leviathan A that also did ban out the 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗀 and the 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗀, which might have been good Silver Age carriers.
Yeah. PA is not bad as well. PA's 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏𝗀 gives a break,
Right.
which was very, very useful against the Bristleback.
So presumably now Manticore A would need to pick some other hero with a break, or just go for a magic strat, or a pure strat. I mean, 𝗀𝗿𝗵𝗂𝗀 is still on the table, I guess, but then they need a way to have to shut down the 𝗀𝗚𝗔𝗓 from popping Q. What would you go for here?
For me, if I was Manticore, I would play it safe and go for a Viper mid. It has high gank chances and can shut down the Bristleback early game.
Yeah, I think that's a fairly predictable pick. I think it's being able to have the break, naturally going for 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗀, and I think combined with like with its heroes as well, having the slow from the Abaddon.
It's the slow and the attack speed bonus as well. Yeah, it's very good.
I think if they're able to have a good early game, they should be able to snowball with it. They actually go for a Razor. Which is also, yeah, I mean, kind of similar concept in a way, like just having some sort of synergy later in the game. I would think the Abaddon is going off lane with the Mars, but at the same time, having the Abaddon on the same lane as the Razor and being able to utilize that slow while Razor has that static link might also be good synergy, and that might be something interesting for them to do. If they're laning against the Bristleback, for instance, having to deal with the Abaddon slow, having to deal with the static link, and Razor just aggressively beating you,
it will probably be a problem as well, even for the Bristleback.
Yeah. And same thing goes actually for the 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗀 matchup with the Mars, it being a physical carry, and it has being a melee carry also, having to lane against that Mars. So I think at the moment, Manticore does seem to have a pretty nice draft in my opinion. A pretty annoying draft in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. Leviathan appear as they are playing the safer route, picking the safer heroes. Simpler heroes.
But yeah, depending on how things go, Manticore does obviously have a pretty good early game. So does Leviathan in a way, but I would think Manticore would have the stronger early game. But then Leviathan A, by nature of having a lifestealer, having a Bristleback, they are going to scale pretty well. If they go ultra late, they also do have Lion with the AoE hacks.
Yeah. Leviathan A with the 5-core ban.
So they are expecting a Razor mid,
10 seconds
which I suppose does make more sense if the Abaddon, especially if the Abaddon is going
5
off lane,
seconds
which is
remaining.
why Leviathan decided to ban another position 1 in the Phantom Lancer. And now they are dipping into 20 seconds of reserve time left, 30 seconds.
Dire team ban.
And they ban out the Jaw Ranger, so they're definitely expecting a position 1 from Manticore.
So it's possibly a Razor mid, Abaddon probably post 4. So he will go with the Mars, and Rubik's partner is still left undecided.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
What about for Leviathan then? What would they would be probably missing a position 2 unless they do something funny with the Bristleback. So I guess they're expecting a hero to lane against the Razor. Maybe something elusive, maybe going for a pop, something with good catch as well.
Yes, definitely.
Having the puck, having the ancient apparition as well, they would be able to get a lot of pickoffs around the map if the puck goes for an early boost of travel, something like that. I think puck is a pretty good pick. They actually decided to go for a Lycan.
So do you think who's going to be mid for Leviathan? Bristleback? Leviathan A playing a very greedy matchup, 3 cores, all needing some sort of farm.
Remaining.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting
5 seconds
pick.
remaining.
Or maybe I'm just a bad player, I don't know. But having a Lycan as the last pick here, definitely interesting. Looks like previously actually Manticore A, I didn't see that, but Manticore A actually banned out the Storm Spirit before. So that's sort of what I was expecting, a Storm Spirit, a puck, something a Void Spirit, which was actually also banned, but something with catch, something that buys boost of travel naturally. So Manticore A goes for a Tinker, so it looks like this Tinker is actually going to be their mid. So I guess that's kind of what we were expecting, the Razor being the safe laner, and the Abaddon potentially laning with the Razor as well to be able to contribute the slow, and Razor just being able to bully the enemy off lane. But yeah, so Manticore is actually using the Razor on the safe lane, and the Tinker ends up being their final pick.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Who do you favor in this matchup?
Personally, I favor Manticore for their more conservative lineup. Leviathan, probably trying something very creative, maybe trying some new meta.
I do like it. I do like the synergy. I mean, having the Razor, having the 𝗬𝗿𝗶𝗲𝗀, having the Rubik as well being, I mean, it's going up against the Lion for one, so there are quite a lot of good spells to steal. They do have the Mars as well, which brings great initiation. I think overall, they've got a pretty good lineup. Was that Leviathan or Manticore?
That was Leviathan.
That was Leviathan. So I'm going to go with Leviathan. You were going with Leviathan or Manticore?
I was going with Manticore.
All right, so there we go. We've got a caster versus caster. And yeah, I think Tinker as well, being able to just control the other lanes, I think that goes against what Manticore was doing with the Lycan pick. So naturally, having this Lycan, having this Bristleback, being able to push out the lanes very aggressively, just having the Tinker to be able to fall back, to be able to defend your towers. I think
Leviathan's going to have some problems defending against the Tinker if he starts ratting.
Yeah, that may be an issue as well, but at the same time, I do think with the Wolves, Leviathan doesn't exactly have a bad wouldn't actually have trouble with lanes so much, I don't think. They do have a lot of wave clear. Any of their heroes could be clearing waves. They do have the Lycan to send their wolves to push out a wave. So they do have that defense against that Tinker, in my opinion. And the other way around also, the Tinker is able to defend against that push. So I think in terms of the push, they're somewhat balanced, but you know how it goes, Tinker's
superior compared to the Lycan in pushing.
So we actually have a pause right now. So
internet problems. Probably. Doesn't seem like they're going to be contesting any runes so far. Both teams on their own sides of the map, protecting their own bounty runes.
30
they're
seconds
both definitely
to
playing
battle.
it safe with the runes. I think this game is gonna depend quite a bit on what transpires in the early game, and I think Manticore does have a superior early game. And I think that may potentially be a problem when you have this 𝗬𝗿𝗶𝗀𝗀 just causing a lot of problems for. Hopefully, I would expect the Bristleback with the Razor, but not really sure what lane you'll be playing on.
Runes not being contested. Each side gets 2 runes each.
And that is, in fact, the 𝗬𝗿𝗿𝗀𝗏 that is going top. So yeah, it is the 𝗬𝗿𝗿𝗏𝗏 laning with the Razor, which I think usually you wouldn't expect it. Most of the time you want to play your 𝗬𝗿𝗏𝗏𝗏 as a 4, maybe even a 3, and I mean Rubik just naturally being a pretty good 5, although it can be a 4.
Yeah.
But I think given the
second centers of this game,
it makes more sense for the 𝗬𝗿𝗏𝗏𝗏 to be on the safe lane, and that is what they're doing. And then the Mars would be instead with the Rubik, and yeah, also kind of what you'd expect to see for now anyway.
Ancient Apparition matched up with the Life Stealer. What do you think about their combo?
I think
They've got good slows. Ancient Apparition 3rd skill, 2nd skill. Life Stealer with his 2nd skill as well, providing a good slow.
it's both an annoying lane with both sides. I mean, Mars being Mars also, and just being able to mitigate a lot of that physical damage.
Yeah.
But we will see how this goes, because this is definitely an annoying lane in terms of the spell. So if we take a look at mid lane, perhaps the Tinker against the Lycan. I think this matchup, you can see at the moment that the Lycan is actually ahead by quite a bit, but that's going to change.
Yeah, I think it's going to get this wave of creeps pretty freely under the tower. Lycan definitely trying to push out the wave.
I think this is one of those matchups where they're kind of just dealing with the heroes at the time. I think we actually see what would probably be a first blood. The Bristleback with the Lion actually getting the kill on the Abaddon, so the other way around, which is not that unexpected at the same time, Bristleback being Bristleback.
Potential second kill coming up.
I think Rubik has kind of come to terms with his death.
Nope.
Not really actually. Does pop the Fairy Fire, is able to just walk it off. But yeah, I think the circumstances of top lane now would become a little bit more difficult now on the side of Manticore, having to deal with the gold deficit on that lane. Looks like
Rubik going down to the
a
AA.
move bottom. At the same time on top, Razor does actually get the turnaround kill, killing the Lion. But over on mid lane, well, we still do see the Lycan having the last hit advantage, but I'm sure that that Tinker is going to catch up pretty quickly, especially with the Lycan. I think what the Lycan has to do is pretty much this. The Lycan will have to keep stacking his camps in order to try to get back into the game.
Yeah, but with the new update, Tinker has lost his Master of Machines, which is now an Academic Shard upgrade. So he's lost most of his farming capabilities.
I see.
Yeah.
Defense matrix, damage absorb, status resistance. Interesting. Okay.
So this patch,
Right.
Tinker would usually be said as to be more of a support role now rather than core. But I personally think he can still go mid perfectly fine.
Interesting. Okay. Did you say, was it the shards or
It was an Academic Shard upgrade.
Okay, it's a shard upgrade. If it's a shard upgrade, then it's not a big deal. So I'm pretty sure people are still going to play Tinker like a Tinker, especially if Tinker is going mid. There are naturally just a lot of heroes where Aghanim Shard is like a super necessary item,
Yeah.
and I think it's going to be the case, especially if you're playing Tinker mid, because I mean Tinker is a March of the Machines hero. They're
Dire's middle
synonymous.
tower
Yeah,
is
yeah,
under
yeah.
attack.
Lifestealer with a 2 last hit advantage over the Mars.
But aside from that, the early game has been fairly even between the two teams.
Yeah, definitely.
So the gold advantage also not being very different at this stage of the game. It's only 2-1 right now.
Possibly going to try to go for a kill on top.
The Abaddon's actually not nearby, so the Bristleback will just walk back to his tower. But yeah, I think now the lane has started to go into favor of the Razor.
Yeah, once he hits his level 3 and he gets his second level in Silent Link, he gets pretty strong real quick.
Yeah, but at the same time, the Lion with the mana drain.
Completely shutting down the Razor to use his abilities actually. Oh, Lion misses the stun. Razor continues to suck damage from the Bristleback.
But yeah, as you can see, it's having the Abaddon, having the Razor, like even without the Abaddon being there. I mean, you know, like when you're playing against the Razor, as soon as you get Sterling, you're running. So
Yeah.
every time that thing is up, you just get the Bristleback out of lane for a while. Right now, the lane equilibrium is also pretty good for Manticore, but on the side of the Radiant, Leviathan was also putting the hot gun.
We see our mid hit level 6. Probably can see some interesting ganks coming up soon from the Lycan especially.
So let's take a look at the Tinker right now. What's the Tinker been up to? The Tinker has bottle. Doesn't have anything in quick buy, so not sure what the plan is. What would you do? Is it still, I suppose Boost of Travel doesn't make sense anymore as the first item. Probably later, but I would
Actually,
think
no. Now Tinker has a new ability, Team Convenience, which is basically a built-in Boots of Travel. At level 1, he can teleport to towers, level 2 to creeps, and level 3 to heroes.
Well, there you go. What am I talking about? Boost of Travel is no longer a thing for Tinker then.
So Tinker can go straight for his either Aether Lens or his Blink Dagger.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So that makes more sense now. I mean, That definitely makes a lot more sense. I mean, if you remove March of the Machines, but you give him boost of travel level 1,
Yeah,
so to
I
speak,
guess it balances out.
it just means that instead of spending 2,400, 2,500 gold on the boost of travel, you spend 1,004, 2,000, what was it, something like that.
2,000 plus, yeah.
On Aghanim Shard. And there you've got your Tinker already, ready to push out lanes, ready to stack.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So it looks like over at top, the Razor just get another kill on the Lion, which I think solidifies their position in the lane. The Razor already being level 6. So
Mars securing the range creep.
looks like the Lycan is going for something, popping the Shapeshift and going for the Abaddon. The Abaddon only level 4, tries to TP out, but will end up falling. The Tinker coming in for a TP support, but he might be the next one to fall because the Shapeshift is still out. The Wolves going on the Razor probably going to be the second one to fall, but pops the static link and the Lycan does decide to back off, but the Wolves still keeping him one more hit, and the Razor just end up falling. So the Lycan actually getting a 2 for none trade, dropping the Abaddon as well as the Razor. And so a good gank coming out from the Lycan, the first shapeshift of the game, and does end up saving his offlane, which was a little bit difficult, having fallen twice to the Abaddon and Razor combo earlier. So the Lycan having the Helm of the Dominator now,
really farming the retreat.
building towards the flat. Over at bot,
Rubik gets flat.
it looks like the Mars Arena is able to save the Rubik, but the Mars might be the next one to fall. The slow from the Ancient Apparition just too much, and the Lifestealer running him down. A few more hits, Lifestealer pops the Q, and the Mars does end up falling. So that was an unfortunate trade there. The Mars probably could have gotten away, but opted to pop his ulti and also then lose his life in order to save that Rubik. So
yeah, not worth trade in my eyes. Razor chasing down on the Lion.
And he is committing to the chase.
Gets the
pops his
kill.
ulti as well and drops the Lion.
They probably want to push tower here since he already popped his ult.
So I think the next timing to be expected on the side of Manticore, it kind of falls to the Tinker right now. If we take a look at what the Tinker might be building, we're not sure what the Tinker has right now, but once the Tinker does get an Aghanim Scepter, it would be Aghanim Shard, he would be able to push out the lane a lot quicker, be able to contribute to fights and.
Money changes hands.
Both teams equally matched up, 5-3 in the first 10 minutes of the game. See the Razor queuing up for an SNY. They're probably going to try for the mid game, right?
I think if I was Leviathan right now, I would just gather all 4 of my heroes, have my Lifestealer farm, and just start to play a little bit more aggressively and just try to take a little bit of towers, especially having the Lycan. It looks like the Shapeshift is off cooldown. Having the Wolves, they should be able to just push. I mean, the Bristleback does also have the Vanguard, so they are relatively tanky right now. I think they could just take advantage of the position they earned for themselves here, having a slight goal advantage, just being stronger and more ready to fight right now.
3 heroes down bottom lane. Could they be pushing a tower?
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Are Leviathan going to defend this?
I think they should. I don't think they should just let
Radiant
your
structures are
jungle tower, your safe lane tower go down right now. Especially because they can. I think they could totally defend it. Like, they're not weak right now.
Lion popped his finger on an Abaddon ult. Too much going on at top. They're probably going to try and counter push, get a 1-for-1 tower.
And the bottom tower does end up falling completely uncontested. So I think they are indeed trying to go for a 1-for-1 trade, and I'm sure they will get the trade because I don't think Manticore is in any position to defend a tower right now. An easy tower for them.
Mars is awkwardly stuck in the trees behind his now gone tower.
And it looks like they are actually making a move. We do see the Tinker coming here, but I'm not sure whether they want to commit to this, because
Radiant's bottom tower
Leviathan
is
does
under
have
attack.
4 heroes in the area right now, so.
Dire's
But
middle
it does
tower
seem like
is under
Leviathan
attack.
will opt to just back out, happy with what they came for. The tier 1 tower does end
Radiant's
up
bottom
falling.
tower is under attack.
And so they probably will just decide to reset, recuperate, and maybe go for a team fight and a push later on. I think we have yet to see a smoke actually, considering it's 12 minutes into the game. I'm sure they could get some free kills, but
Leviathan pushing in for the mid tower now.
Is a great conductor. That's
let's take a look at what the Tinker has right now. The Tinker.
So
Does
far, he
go
has a
for
Blink Dagger.
Blink. All right, so yeah, okay. I think that's considering he has maxed out first skill and second skill. So yeah, he's not going for much of the machines, which is fine. Like, so.
He's gonna try and help out his team as much as he can in those fights.
But at the same time, because Leviathan does have the advantage, perhaps going for this aggressive build might not be the best idea either if you're the Tinker. Because considering he has a maxed out Q and W, which means you just want to fight. You don't want to farm so much, you want to fight. But look at him, he's fighting. And I mean, he's farming.
Yeah.
And if you were farming, then perhaps you should have just gotten
is under
the Item Shard. So I think it was it's a great idea to go for the Blink and being aggressive with the Q and the W, but it doesn't look like they actually want to fight, so.
Doesn't look like he's fully maximizing the Blink, yeah.
Yeah, maximizing Q and W is when you want to fight. W doesn't even work on creeps, so.
Yeah. Tried to go on the Razor but failed.
The AA Blast
Radiant's
does
bottom
miss,
tower
but it looks
is
like
under
the
attack.
Lycan.
Lycan and Bristleback still trying to chase Razor. Razor TP's out and he gets away.
Radiant's
So
middle
both
tower
teams
is under
opting to
attack.
play it relatively safe.
All my enemies.
Radiant's
Manticore going for the
structures
middle
are
tower.
fortified.
Radiant fortifies. Will they come and fight this?
I think both teams, they haven't been defending towers. They also haven't been using their
Radiant's
ultimates,
middle
haven't been
tower
popping
is under
smokes.
attack.
But I think both teams happy to be making these tower shifts for now. But it looks like the Mars
Axe on the
gets
Mars.
initiated on, but the Abaddon with the 𝗀𝗏𝗃 shield is able to remove the flaws and the debuff. And the
Razor
Mars is
coming
able
in
to
with
get
the
out. The
ult.
arena
Mars
dropping
ult.
as well, and it looks like the life stealer is falling pretty low, but he does infest the bird. Able to escape the life stealer.
Running low, Lion ults. And Rubik goes down. Tinker's still in the back line, firing up his rockets and laser. Mars goes down.
The Bristleback able to tank a lot of the damage with that Vanguard he got earlier. And now the Razor is getting gone on as well. And it looks like
Razor's
Leviathan
sustaining.
is able to turn it around, only losing the Ancient Apparition. But the Razor coming for more, and it looks like
Rubik
they're
with a
all
double
going to
kill.
fall. Life Stealer, the sole survivor on the side of Leviathan. And Manticore is able to turn it around. So that was a good fight for them. It looked pretty close. The Razor was actually alone there. The Razor was on high ground, getting chased by Tree, but
I think the high ground saved him. The vision that he got from the high ground.
probably the uncertainty of whether they should push higher ground. And so Manticore does end up getting the upper hand there,
Radiant's
and
middle tower
that makes
is
the
under
game become
attack.
8-8, and it's all square right now. So perhaps we could take a look at Tinker again. I feel like Tinker is
Hey,
better
off onto
condition,
the
but
Razor.
The Razor, if the 𝗀𝗏𝗃 shield might be able to hold him for a while, preventing the magic sticks from
Should be
dropping
enough.
him too low, and it looks like the 𝗀𝗏𝗃 shield is still up, so he will not pop.
Nice try by Leviathan to try and set up on the Razor.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
The Abaddon seems to be building a Holy Locket. Is that a Holy Locket? I think it is.
Yeah, sorry.
And Saint and Yasha already built on the Razor. Looks like he just picked it up.
Fight down mid. Tinker coming in aggressively, linking in.
Tinker is
Lion
actually
pops the smoke.
being gone on right now, and it looks like the Tinker will unfortunately fall. The Bristleback is able to walk it off. The Razor right now does have the
Lycan
AA out
just
on
running
him, but
around.
The 𝗀𝗏𝗃 shield does keep him alive, but the Lycan still has the shapeshift, should be able to run down the Razor, and the Razor should pop to the AA blast.
Razor's all alone right now, but he has high movement speed, let's remember that.
Looks like the AA debuff actually ran off, and the Mars being gone on now. And the Mars going to be the next one to fall, and Leviathan get 2 as well as the mid tier 1 tower.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So Leviathan getting the upper hand in this team fight, bringing them to 4k net worth advantage, and I think that puts them in a pretty good position right now.
Yeah.
The life
Manticore
stealer as
trailing
well,
away in the net worth
considering it was a life stealer Midas as well. I think it's good that they have the upper hand like this right now. So as you saw, that thing was a bit of a turnaround for Leviathan. The Dragon skill being picked up by the Lycan.
Mars not having many items right now. Only a Facebook that's rolling so far, apart from his bracer.
I think he has most probably the Vanguard. Yeah, the Vanguard
go.
is coming to him. He's just lacking a little bit of gold. So the Vitality booster, the last thing for him to pick up before he completes the Vanguard. But the Bristleback pretty much had the Vanguard like 10 minutes ago. So definitely the Bristleback.
Manticore smoked and catch the AA off guard.
I think it's not really a big kill, but they'll take what they can get. It's
A kill is a kill.
yeah.
Regen rune for Razor.
Regeneration.
I think Manticore needs something big to happen right now.
Tinker is
Looks
split
like
pushing.
the
Yeah.
life stealer in the Dragon.
Yeah.
So both teams will opt to play it safe for a little bit, despite their ultimates being online. I'm not sure about the Lycan ultimate, but it looks like on the side of Manticore, most of the ultimates are up. So they would be ready to fight, but they're just opting not to. I'm not sure if that's the... perhaps they just want to wait for the Vanguard on the Mars. I'm not sure if that's been picked up yet, but as soon as that happens, I think they have to start doing things.
Yeah.
This is not a game where you want to stall.
You don't want to wait against a life stealer.
You don't want to wait against a life stealer. You
stealer
don't want to
and
wait against a
Bristleback.
Bristleback.
Yeah.
So, and it looks like, yeah, Leviathan is doing what they should be doing. They pop their smoke, and the game is just going to keep going in their favor if Manticore isn't going to make the
Catching
move.
out the
But
Mars and the Rubik.
the Rubik does end up popping the smoke, so
Mars pops his ult, but no, they focus on the Rubik, on the Razor, sorry.
it looks like the Lycan does decide to disengage onto the Razor, but the
Life
Life
stealer
Stealer
coming out, AA out fault.
and the Rubik will fall.
Like
The
him running
Razor
low,
to fall next,
Razor
and
will fall.
Leviathan executing their game plan perfectly. I think that's exactly what they had to be doing. That's exactly what they
Lion
did.
manages to catch a Tinker as well.
And just like that, it's a 4 for
man
nothing
white.
trade. The only sole survivor, the Mars, that ran away after he popped the arena, which was probably the right thing to do. Otherwise, it would be a team wipe. So I
So
think
Leviathan gonna opt to either push down mid or probably try for Roshan.
that was a Manticore kind of like caught with their pants down in a way. I think Manticore kind of had no reason to be in the Radiant jungle, especially considering they weren't under cover of smoke either.
Yeah.
So they ended up just a pretty awkward fight. The Rubik popping the smoke and Leviathan just jumping straight into it. And
No, Leviathan disengaging from Roshan.
I think that's also a smart play. Without the shapeshift and the arena potentially coming back online in not too long, no reason to show the lead in the Roche pit, especially Roche pit when you have when you're up against the Mars. So I think playing it safe, playing it smart, the Bristleback.
4 man on the
however,
Bristle. However, he is surviving very well. Lion coming in.
The
Starting
Bristleback
miss.
with the hood and the Vanguard doesn't really care, so it looks like he is in fact turning around. The tank, the Mars on the side of Manticore, in fact having to back off against the Bristleback. So
Manticore backing off from the fight.
things not looking good for Manticore here. In fact, Manticore might have to just completely concede the tier 1 tower, and this is the last of the tier 1 towers on the side of Manticore, so
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Do they have anything to deal with the bristleback? I don't think so, right?
Is under attack.
It doesn't look like they do actually, so...
Mars out top.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Leviathan trying to chase down anyone.
The static link, it only lasted for like 2 seconds, so it looks like they will have to disengage, and that's a free tier 1 tower. Everything going in the favor of Leviathan right now, and Manticore's struggling to play from behind, especially considering we call Manticore the early game team.
Yeah.
So we expected Manticore to be the team that has the upper edge early on, and Leviathan with the hand of Midas on the lifestealer, you would think that they would be playing a little bit slower, but look at them. It's 22 minutes in the game and they're already going for tier 3s right now. They do have the Dragon as well.
Tinker doing his best.
Radiant structures are fortified.
And it looks like the tier 3 is already going to fall, so very aggressive plays from Leviathan and comfortably aggressive. They don't really have anything to fear right now. There isn't much from the side of Manticore to be able to push them away, and they have gotten what they came for. They have gotten the tier 3, so pretty much their objective here is achieved and they will just back off. This is 22 minutes in the game and they instantly cleared the tier 1, the tier 2 and the tier 3, and they have already sieged high ground. So the game definitely in favor of Leviathan right now, strongly in favor of Leviathan right now. You can see a 10k net worth advantage. So
Tough game for Manticore, I guess.
what would you think is the winning condition then for Manticore? What do they need to get back into the game?
The Razor definitely needs to catch off the Lycan, take him down as fast as he can, but at the same time, somebody needs to deal with the Lifestealer. If not, you just pick off your supports one by one and you're left with basically nothing.
Yeah, so perhaps looking from their side, like in terms of control, especially the Lycan isn't going to be engaging in the front. We have seen that time and time again. The Lycan has always been shape-shifting and then chasing somebody else around. He's never where the Mars is.
Yeah.
So the Mars is never able to like properly hold him down. And if you don't hold him down, he's just going to be...
He's going to be running around your supports.
So doesn't look like they have an Athos or anything to do with that also. And it looks like the Razor is actually going for a BKB, which is good, but I don't think it's what they need. The Lion is going to be falling down and...
Bristleback coming in. Here's X.
The Bristleback happy to just tank a lot of the damage. In fact, he was here alone after the Lion fell, and looks like the cavalry has arrived. The Lycan is here, and now things are just going to turn sideways for Manticore. They are going to try to retreat. In fact, the Rubik should just be running. There's no reason to try to save the Razor. Does actually have the rage from the Lifestealer, which does help him avoid some of the magic damage, and he does manage to TP away because of that. So it will only be a 2-for-1 trade, which is a good thing, but 3-for-1 trade, looking at the
unnecessary call off. Unnecessary.
So I think the Tinker, for what it's worth, I think going for that 𝗀𝗵𝗀𝗀 was a good idea.
Yeah. But he has to deal with the Lion out as well.
Yeah, he does have to deal with the Lion out, but very aggressive plays from Leviathan here, completely just charging them down.
Rubik gets stunned. Another free kill for Manticore. For Leviathan.
I think this is a very hard game to play for Manticore now. Never say never, of course, but I think it's pretty much like I don't know what the win condition is anymore for Manticore. Like, it's way too difficult to play from behind here. You can't make any more smoke plays, anything funny like that. Yeah. In fact, in my opinion, as long as Leviathan plays with discipline,
as long as they don't start diving the fountain.
Yeah, I think other than that, there's nothing that will cause them to.
They can't really lose this game, can they?
Anything could happen in a game of Dota, I guess, but it's gonna be a little bit of a stretch for them to end up throwing this game away. In the interest of discipline, I suppose they may want to just go for Roshan or something here right now.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So, looks like they
trying
do decide to bring Tiny's elder brother.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Surprisingly, Leviathan not going for the Roshan just yet.
I think Golem Aura is bonus HP, is it?
Yeah, percentage bonus HP.
Yeah. So perhaps that's why they decided to pick up Tiny's elder brother.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Roshan drops to Leviathan.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
𝗀𝗏𝗂𝗏 picks it up.
Disciplined gameplay from the side of Leviathan. That was a free Roshan. There was no need to commit any more heroes then. So with the Aegis as well on the side of Leviathan, that brings out one last siege, and that will probably be the last siege of the game, taking that tier 2 over on top. The last tier 2 on the side of Manticore, and then they will be able to pretty much just end the game. So Manticore does have some space right now, especially given that they know Leviathan did make that Roshan play. So they will be farming a little bit. They're not yet choked inside base, but it's not going to be an easy game at all. The top 3 net worth, as you can see, is all on the side of Leviathan.
I think going for Shivas rather than the Egg Shard. Probably try and play more defensive rather than going for the push.
The Tinker
Frantically running away.
is able to escape, fortunately. That would have been... he does have buyback, I guess, but otherwise that would have been...
Also the Bristleback in combination with the Life Stealer and the Lycan. Bristleback's first skill provides armor debuff.
Dire's top tower has
So
fallen.
for right click heroes like the Life Stealer and the Lycan, that is very nice. More damage.
The Bristleback happily does
Just running in, charging in.
nothing to fear. The Mars might need to make a frantic initiation right now because it's pretty much now or never, and it looks like it is going to be never because the tier 3 does end up falling. The Aegis is still online. So I don't think they need to back off. If they feel like it, they could. Perhaps if they want to be like ultra safe, they could, but I don't see a reason for having to back off right now. They are strong.
Life Stealer charging in along with the Bristleback.
And there we go. It looks like the Rubik instantly just melts. The Lion does end up falling on the side of Leviathan, but the Lion does buyback immediately. The Rubik not having buyback, and it looks like the Mars going to be the next one to fall. The Bristleback is low, but he does block it off. He does know when to pull out, and he is able to get away.
The sustain from that second skill is actually annoying.
And with the Razor falling next,
down.
so that was a great game sense on the side of the Lion as well, knowing exactly like after he fell, buy back, go right back into it, use the Finger of Death, drop the Razor. And, I mean, that's the game. You have no reason to play it any more safe than that. Just full Davai, and it looks like
Leviathan clearing out all the barracks.
will be cleaning out Manticore here. I think that's the end of the game. There's nothing more.
Nothing much they can do from now.
It's that's mega creeps on the side of
Leviathan.
for Leviathan, and
GG
GG will be
called out
called.
by Manticore.
And so it looks like game 1 of this best of 3 series going the way of Leviathan A. And wow, in 30 minutes they do get it done. I think they had a game plan. They executed it really, really well. Not exactly what we were expecting, in a way. I did think, for instance, that the Lifestealer pick was, and especially the position 1 heroes being banned, I did think that was like an indicator of, oh, Leviathan is definitely going to be playing a late game.
Yeah, but they ended up going for the early game, the mid game.
Yeah, so
24 minutes.
in fact, looks like our friendly caster bet, I definitely lost that. I thought Manticore was going to have a good game. I thought Manticore was going to win the early game. I thought they were going to dominate the early game, having the Abaddon, having the Razor as well in the safe lane, having the Tinker matching up against a Lycan.
Definitely expected more from Manticore this game.
Unfortunately, I was completely wrong, and it looks like Leviathan executed their gameplay perfectly. They knew exactly what they needed to do. As soon as they started getting an edge, the Smoke of Deceit that we saw at bottom in the Radiant jungle, and then what was next? They go bottom, they get the tier 1, the tier 2, the tier 3. And
Push all the way through.
from then on, that was all she wrote. It looks like Leviathan just playing a perfect game. There's not much more to say than that. We will have to see what Manticore may decide to take from this game. And
So first round we got Leviathan 24 and Manticore to 11. Victory goes to Leviathan, obviously.
So we'll have to see what they do decide to learn from this game, but we see from the scores here, just, well, Lycan looking very good, but meanwhile on the side of Manticore, like all of them got shut down, nobody had a good lane.
Yeah. Razor had a decent lane, I guess. He had a decent lane.
Razor had a good lane, but then I think Leviathan just played really, really well. I think like despite the lane that he had over at mid, as soon as he hit that level 6, well actually it was level 8 I think, when the Lycan just decided, okay, I gotta go top, pop the shapeshift, ran them down, drop the Razor, drop the Abaddon. And so I think that was just great play by Leviathan, executing everything from the early game all the way until the late game. Super disciplined as well, as we saw from Leviathan. Despite having the tier 3 down at mid, what do? Instead of going for Rex, instead of going for another tier 3, they back off, they get the Roshan, they get that Aegis, and then go back to engage, get that tier 2. So I think Manticore is the one that's going to have to really think about what they want to do in the next game. I think...
hopefully we see more action in the next game from Manticore.
I think Manticore had the opportunity several times. Like I said, there were a few critical moments in the game. I think, like I said, the winning condition. There were a few critical moments in the game where it's important for Manticore to do something. Like as soon as they picked up, for instance, the Blink Dagger on the Tinker, having the maxed out Q, having the maxed out W, that was when Manticore was probably at their strongest. That was when they were absolutely ready to take team fights. They should have popped smokes. When they were in the Radiant jungle, they...
Yeah, so we'll be taking a short break for now, and we'll see you guys later in game 2.
In business, what makes a Monash student the real deal? Is it the subjects or the campus? Or a discovery in silence? Or pushing an idea that is not popular? Often we learn and fend for ourselves. The idea of business, the tension, the differences. How is it different here? At Monash, we invest in instilling attributes that matter. The importance of knowledge sharing, where curious and innovative minds collaborate. It's about improving lives, impacting communities, creating and believing in sustainable practices, nurturing responsible and effective leaders. It's about understanding and accepting diversity. For in business, it is more than just money, facts, and figures. It is these attributes that makes a Monash student a business student, excelling in whatever they do, as lifelong learning is meant for more. Business as usual is no longer an option. Monash University.
Welcome to Monash University, Malaysia.
Hi guys, we're here to show you what life is really like in Monash, Malaysia.
I don't know about you guys, but I think we have the best campus ever. Am I being biased?
Just wait till you see it. Come on, we'll show you the secret hideouts, starting with the rooftop. Check out the view.
Because it's summer all year long, we like to come here for our Insta-worthy shots. Actually, no one really does this. It's so hot.
They're just being silly. Everybody knows the cool kids hang inside, like here at the pool tables.
Or here, where we pump iron.
Actually, we hang out where all the food is. I love spicy food.
Or for your daily fix of caffeine. One scone, please.
The campus has all the facilities you need. From modern research labs to smart classrooms and study spaces, you'll find everything under one roof.
There's always so much to do around campus.
It's easy to meet new people and make lifelong friends.
Okay guys, I'm off to join the Monash Chamber Orchestra. Wish me luck.
It's my great pleasure to welcome you to Monash University. And let me acknowledge that we meet here on the lands of the people of the Kulin Nations, the 𝗀𝗏𝗀𝗀 and the 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗀, and we pay our respects to their elders past and present. As new students, you're embarking on a wonderful journey of discovery. To be offered a place in your chosen course has taken talent, dedication and hard work. So congratulations on joining Monash. For over 60 years, Monash graduates and research have changed the world, and our students are leaders of change today. Your pursuit of discovery and achievement will shape the future.
Yeah, Monash University is a relatively young institution, established in 1958 and named after one of our most celebrated Melburnians, Sir John Monash.
John Monash was a bright young student, qualifying in arts, engineering and law, a volunteer in World War I, and a dedicator to public service, community leadership and education.
In life, Sir John embodied the attributes that Monash University values above all: leadership, integrity, service, equality and lifelong learning.
Our motto, 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏𝗀, or I am still learning, reflects our never-ending quest for scholarship and growth. We are fired with a restless ambition that pushes us to do better, to set new benchmarks and to break new ground.
And while Monash nurtures our professional and personal development, there's also so many opportunities to be part of the Monash community through the clubs, societies and fun new activities on campus.
Our unique approach to education is marked by 4 key pillars.
Excellence, achieved through the quality of teaching Monash students experience, alongside a continual investment into the latest learning technologies and spaces.
With a presence on 4 continents, international partnerships and study abroad programs around the globe, Monash is Australia's largest university. This extensive reach gives us a fundamental edge in understanding our place in a rapidly changing, open borders world.
Monash students have the world at their fingertips, with the ability to not only study in different countries, but to work internationally too.
The third is enterprising. Our education strives to connect theory with real-world problems to prepare you for success. And we partner with industry leaders to give students a platform to share their ideas and research with the world.
And lastly, Monash is inclusive. We celebrate diversity. It infuses our learning with a rich strength, connection and belonging. Sharing our different stories, perspectives and experiences allow us to better understand our shared humanity and better prepares our graduates for the reality of a fast-paced, interconnected world.
There is so much ahead of you now to discover and enjoy. I encourage you to become involved in all aspects of orientation to prepare yourself for your studies and your life here at Monash.
Hi guys, I'm Sean.
And I'm Zacchaeus.
And welcome back to the Monash Cup Dota 2 Scrim between Leviathan A and Manticore A. We had a very interesting game just now. What are your thoughts about it? Before that, this stream today is brought to you by RL Asia, sponsored by RealMe and partnered with Monash University. So yeah, Zach, what do you think about the game just now?
I think it was a pretty one-sided game.
Pretty one-sided, yeah? To Leviathan, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was just game plan executed perfectly. It was just everything they needed to do from the beginning of the game until the end of the game. So in case you didn't tune into the first game, what happened in the first game was Leviathan actually banning out a ton of position 1 heroes in the first game. We'll see if they do that again in the second game, but in the first game they just banned out all the position 1 heroes. They banned everything. And then they second picked a life stealer. So to myself, I'm thinking, I mean, they banned out heroes like 𝗀𝗍𝗂𝗏, like Luna, 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗀. So we expected they want to go late game. All of a sudden, what do we see? In 30 minutes, the previous game actually ended in 30 minutes. The early game also going in favor of Leviathan, and then it was pretty much just a very one-sided game.
Yeah. Manticore definitely letting us down a bit this game, previous game. Hopefully we'll see more from them this game. Yeah.
What do you think has to change about Manticore?
I think first, maybe they're not used to the new patch yet. Maybe they're not updated to the current heroes and their skills. And I think their mentality should change as well. So rather than playing just a farming game, they should go out, be more aggressive and take those fights.
Well, I think that's exactly it actually. Like the problem that we saw with the Tinker, I think the Tinker had a fairly decent mid game. It wasn't great. I think they were fairly even in terms of last hits, but I think it all kind of went downhill because they didn't realize their timing. They hit their timing, but they didn't realize their timing. Yeah. So I think it was sort of like they had their Blink Dagger, they had the max out Q and W on the Tinker. They were ready to fight. They were ready to fight, but they didn't. And I think that was a problem because the game was relatively even. The Lifestealer went for a Midas. It was Manticore's game to play early. I think they didn't execute that part well enough. Meanwhile, Leviathan, as soon as they got a little bit of a lead, I think, in my opinion, they were losing early game. I think top lane went in favor of the Razor and the 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗀.
Yeah, definitely, because the Razor just kept getting kills on the Lion. Anytime he could, he ran him down. The Bristleback just backed off along with him. 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗀 was there as well for some of the kills and the assists. But generally, the game was very balanced in the early game. But like you said, Manticore didn't just take the jump to go on them.
I think that also changed a lot as soon as Lycan made that gank over on top lane and ended up securing 2 kills actually. And the Tinker TP was too little and too late. There was nothing much that the Tinker could do about it. And yeah, so I think Manticore has to do a better job at realizing their timings. That is probably what is most critical in my opinion when it comes to the side of Manticore. Leviathan, on the other hand, what do you think they could improve?
Leviathan, honestly, they're playing a very good game now. They're very solid. They are very, very disciplined. They haven't done anything I would call stupid in any case. Okay, I would say Leviathan should probably be more diverse in their banning, not just banning post ones after they've already picked their post one. So yeah, they could probably work on that. And overall, they're just playing a very good game of Dota.
I would agree with you. It's a little bit strange, I think, to be at the same time. I mean, we wouldn't want to criticize the team that so dominantly won, but at the same time,
it's a bit weird. Their
bans were pretty weird.
Yeah.
So rationalizing it, the bans should be for a late game thing, but that wasn't what happened. So I think if it was going to be sort of an early game thing like that, they would want to be banning more early mid-game heroes, this kind of like powerful offlaners and supports. That's what they would want to be doing. Something that would prevent them from having that strong early game. But it looks like they ended up just playing early game anyway. I don't think by plan. Yeah. I don't think by choice, just by nature of the game. But I think, yeah, like you said, that was fantastic play by Leviathan. I think they realized their timings perfectly. They smoked at the right times. Actually, perhaps I might disagree with that because there were definitely a few instances, wouldn't you say, where Leviathan could have gone for an earlier smoke?
Yeah, definitely. But probably they're waiting for all their teammates to get their items before they go for a fight, just to secure all the kills. Because most of Leviathan's fight, they come out with no deaths. They get the 4 kill, they come out clean.
That is true. I guess it was disciplined gameplay by them.
Yeah.
Things could have gone different as a result of that, in my opinion. I feel like as soon as your Lycan has shapeshift off cooldown, the Bristleback actually built like a 8-minute, 10-minute Vanguard. It was a super quick Vanguard. And I think as soon as those timings were reached, maybe you don't have to smoke, just start pushing for tier 1 towers. In my opinion, they could have done that, especially if they knew that the Tinker was going for a very, the Tinker wasn't going to be pushing other lanes. They wouldn't have to deal with much of a machine's Tinker. So I think they could have just pushed back off if they need to, otherwise go for the fight. But it doesn't really matter because eventually it looked like they just played what they needed to do. They got that smoke of deceit, that team fight at bottom. In my opinion, that's where everything changed. There were small plays here and there, but it was a very awkward moment at bot. Yeah. Very, very awkward. I think Manticore being in Radiant jungle without smoke of deceit. I mean, what do I know? But
they're pretty just like chilling at the mama right
exactly.
in the bottom jungle.
It was weird to say the least. They were kind of scattered. They weren't even at the same place. They were just all over the Radiant jungle. They weren't there. They weren't ready to fight. Meanwhile, Leviathan, that was when Leviathan decided, hey, it's our time to fight right now. They pop a smoke. They pop a smoke at their mid tier 2. And
they instantly found Mars and the Rubik just right next to the high ground.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that was the big moment in the previous game where I think there was still a lot of potential from Manticore, of course, to be able to bring themselves back into the game. I hope and I think that is definitely their utmost priority in the next game, to realize their timings better. Because I don't think they got completely
annihilated.
It was a timing thing.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it was a timing thing. And the timing made all of the difference. Like you said, the team fights, it was always just
the Leviathan going in strong and coming out still strong.
It wasn't an exciting team fight. It was kind of just Leviathan charging at them, the Bristleback not being able to die.
The Lycan just running in at your supports and the Tinker.
The Lifestealer as well. It was nightmare scenario. I mean, if I was a Manticore, playing against those heroes when they're fat.
If I was Tinker, I would probably be in the trees.
When you're that farmed, the Tinker being forced to buy a Ghost Scepter, which he just had to buy a Ghost Scepter. I think he bought the Ghost Scepter right after his blink.
Yeah, right after the blink, he got a Ghost Scepter.
And it's kind of sad when you want to buy a Ghost Scepter when you're playing against a Lion. And but it's just the situations that they had to adapt to, and it was just they were playing from behind for the whole game. And we enter the pick and ban phase.
Seems like Leviathan might be going back to the same strat of banning 6 post-1s.
Manticore as well. I think we saw a...
we saw a Timber pick just now as well for the ban.
Yeah. So, looks like they're doing the same thing actually, Leviathan. Happy to try the same strategies again. Like we did mention earlier, it's a little bit strange for you to see teams. It's not completely... looks like that's a throwback to the previous game. Manticore banning out the Lycan.
I see. They might have some PTSD from the Lycan.
Exactly.
Winter Wyvern coming up on Leviathan. So, remember how in last patch, Winter Wyvern could possibly play as a post-1 carry? Well, say bye-bye to that. They have buffed Winter Wyvern, so it is definitely harder for him to play post-1 nowadays.
They buffed him.
Sorry, they nerfed him.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they nerfed the Winter Wyvern. What did they do?
They reduced his agility gain by 0.1 or 0.2, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Yeah, so it's a slight nerf, but it really makes a difference.
Would you say it's? I think it's safe to
Game-changing?
assume
No.
the Wyvern is definitely a 4 or 5, right? I mean, it's a first pick also.
Yeah. I mean, this is a scrim, and it's not pubs. How often do you see a Wyvern carry in a proper match?
10 seconds remaining.
Well, for what it's worth, I stopped playing Dota quite a while ago. Not that long ago, I guess. Recent enough that I did see Wyvern mids, so position 2 Wyverns, but I have never liked playing against position 2 Wyverns. They're very, very annoying. But like you said, I think if it's not a pub, it's probably easier to find a way to counter the Wyvern.
Seeing from the current lineup, Manticore might be trying to go for the early mid game as well. Lion and the Gyro. Gyro is very strong mid game. And with the new update, his 𝗀𝗵𝗀𝗶𝗀𝗵𝗁 is now basically on his homing missile. His first skill is now attached to it. So it's pretty nifty, pretty cool.
First skill is attached to it. So what happens when the missile hits? Does it still hit?
When the missile hits, his first skill will still be activated where the missile landed for another 1 second.
I see. Well, that's pretty good then. I think, and you said that's 𝗀𝗵𝗀𝗀𝗃 right?
That's
Scepter
𝗀𝗵𝗀𝗀𝗃.
is the sight gunner, right?
Flag cannon, yes.
The
sight gunner, yes.
The sight gunner, yeah.
Pudge on Leviathan.
Let me tell you, man, Gyrocopter is giving me PTSD. Like, I had this game not too long ago. Like, one of the games, I think it was actually the game that made me quit Dota, actually. I had a Gyrocopter that specifically asked one of our teammates to pick Wisp, just for the combination. And then the Gyrocopter told him to just farm lanes, stack camps, so that he can farm the jungle. And despite having a good lane, despite having a free lane, the Gyrocopter just decides to go jungle for no reason when he could be farming lane to farm those camps. He builds so many items, he builds the scepter, and he does nothing with it. That's why I stopped Dota. Hopefully this Gyrocopter won't be like that.
hopefully. So we see a Pudge on Leviathan, and Pudge, definitely one of the stronger heroes this game. You've seen Dandy use it a couple of times already this patch.
Oh really?
Yeah. So with his 𝗀𝗵𝗀𝗀𝗃 Scepter, he gets Pudge usually gets an early game hood. He gets an axe, and he just runs them down.
As a 4 or 2?
Can be a 3, can be a 1.
Interesting. Okay, so we'll see what happens with this Pudge then.
It would definitely be funny if Leviathan just tries to go for a meme game. Wyvern post 1, Pudge post 3.
I think fairly safe. Not much going on right now in the pick and ban phase.
Oh look, it's a Shadow Demon ban. It's not a post 1.
I think that's going to be a premonition for something. Like, why do you ban Shadow Demon? What?
10 seconds remaining.
I think Leviathan are going to pick something, and they don't want to play against the Shadow Demon.
Personally, the Purge on the Shadow Demon, very, very annoying. Especially on heroes that you buff a lot.
I would have thought it might have been a Luna, but the Luna is banned, so... Manticore 8 banning out the Void.
10 seconds remaining.
I think with the next pick, we can kind of determine what kind of gameplay they might be going for.
5 seconds remaining.
Right, okay, I think that sort of makes sense. So...
Treant.
Leviathan banning out the Shadow Demon, Manticore expecting a Void because they think Leviathan is trying to have that defense against the Chrono.
The Treant and the Gyro, Treant, Gyro, Lion, I think they go very well together. Treant's ultimate works very well with Gyrocopter's ultimate and third skill. Lion just being a very good laning hero to be with the Gyro. So both are actually viable options to be with Gyro.
And then I think Treant just wins lanes.
Yeah.
So
90 plus damage from right clicks in early game.
Looks like Leviathan dipping quite healthily into the reserve time right now. Still gonna pick their third pick, which I assume is gonna be their offlaner, but Leviathan might be a little bit more comfortable now doing weird things. especially seeing how the previous game went.
Doom is definitely good against the gyrocopter in this game. Just disables him for a solid amount of time for them to end the team fight, and hopefully without the gyrocopter coming in.
Well, so now what's the lineup for Leviathan?
Well, Leviathan looks like they're missing out a mid hero. So,
but who's their +1?
Oh my.
If you're saying it's mid, it looks like, I mean, the 4th pick 𝗀𝗵𝗀𝗀.
5 seconds
I think they might be trying to do a 𝗀𝗃 post 3. 𝗀𝗃 post 3 and a Doom post 1 possibly. Or it might be a Doom mid.
If I had to guess, I would be more, personally, of course, I don't really know what 𝗀𝗃 has been up to recently. I don't know what changes, but 𝗀𝗃 has never been a particularly good position 2 since like TI 1.
unless of course you're Dandy.
Yeah,
can't beat Dandy.
So, but seeing as Dandy is not in Leviathan A, I would think 𝗀𝗃 should be a support, but not when you have a Wyvern and 𝗀𝗵𝗀𝗀, unless the Wyvern's going 1 or 2, which depends on how confident Leviathan is about memeing around this game.
Yeah.
But I think otherwise, the safest scenario in this case would be to have the 𝗀𝗃 mid, have the Doom off lane.
Even if it is a Wyvern mid in this game, at least we'll get to see how viable a Wyvern post 1 or post 2 is this patch. Night Stalker on Manticore A.
If you ask me, this is a pretty early game draft again that Manticore is trying to pull off. Leviathan are actually doing the same thing, so...
Yeah. But Leviathan look like they're going for a bit more team fight rather than solo pickoffs this game. Especially with the Wyvern, Doom and the 𝗀𝗵𝗀𝗀. They want to combo that as much as they can. They are lacking in terms of stuns though. Doom has a mini stun, 𝗀𝗃 has a big ult, 𝗀𝗵𝗀𝗀𝗀 has a small stun as well, but...
I think right now they just need damage.
Yeah.
just get a position 1 that can dish out damage. If they decide to go for a Lifestealer again or something, it's not actually a bad idea.
What do you think about the Night Stalker on Manticore? Do you think he's strong against these heroes?
I think Night Stalker is a pretty good pick. I think hopefully Manticore plays this Night Stalker like fixes their timing with this Night Stalker, because Night Stalker is like obviously a timing hero, right?
Yeah.
Nighttime. So hopefully that helps bring their tempo into play. When it's nighttime, it's go time. So.
But let's just hope that Manticore doesn't repeat the same mistakes they did last game, where they tried to avoid fights for a while, and hopefully just run in at them. Because that is what their current lineup says. I am going to run in at you and fight.
10 seconds.
So Leviathan banning out the Viper.
5 seconds.
Interesting ban. Not sure what that might be about. Perhaps they just don't want to play against the slows and that kind of thing, or perhaps they're going to pick something with an annoying passive. But we'll see what Manticore decides to do. The final picks coming out now. Most probably it's going to be a position 1 for Leviathan and a position 2 for Manticore. So probably a +1 ban for Manticore A right now. They might just decide, hey, don't give Leviathan Lifestealer again.
Yeah. Or maybe the Bristle.
Bristleback was already banned. They definitely had PTSD from the Bristleback and the Lycan. I would have PTSD too. So, but the Lifestealer is still in play, so still got 20 seconds left on the clock. They might just be deciding what to ban and then what to pick, so probably going to be an instant pick right after the ban.
Dire team pick.
The Void Spirit.
They've been banning Void Spirit since the previous round as well. They must have something they know that Leviathan does not. Templar Assassin seen on Leviathan A.
Alright, so it's a Doom 1 then. So I guess that's okay, using a Doom 1. And so Templar Assassin is obviously mid.
10 seconds.
And the 𝗀𝗃 is at post 3. So yeah.
5 seconds remaining.
I think they have a good fighting combo, early and mid game. Their late game, 𝗀𝗏𝗀𝗏 can be a bit annoying. 𝗀𝗏𝗶𝗀𝗵𝗁, I would say so-so. He's alright.
What do you think about the 𝗀𝗏 late game though?
𝗀𝗏 late
as a
game,
position 1.
𝗀𝗏 late game as a post 1,
Choose your
Tinker again. I don't see much from him as compared to like a regular post 1, such as like, let's say, 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏𝗏, 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏, 𝗀𝗏. 𝗀𝗏 just doesn't fit into them. Like he can't survive that long against them.
So looks like the pick phase is now over. We have some interesting picks here. Looks like we have a completely different game on our hands. The initial phase was a little bit similar, but the picks we have now would definitely indicate an earlier game, I would think.
Yeah. So Manticore look like they're going to try and run at Leviathan. However, Leviathan look like they're going to try and take as many team fights as they can towards Manticore.
I don't remember what the picks were exactly, but there we go.
Yeah.
So the picks are here. We have a, yeah, so that 𝗀𝗏 is the interesting one, I suppose. So I think that makes Leviathan kind of like, perhaps it's what they learned from their previous game, knowing that they do have perhaps slightly better technical skill. And given that they have better technical skill, they may possibly expect to have a little bit of the early game in their favor.
Yeah.
And as a result, play early game. Because I don't think,
I don't think Leviathan will want to drag this game out against a 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏 and a Tinker.
and especially when you have a 𝗀𝗏. I think 𝗀𝗏 is a great hero late game. 𝗀𝗏 is a very, very good hero late game, like because of, well, the ultimate 𝗀𝗏. But as a position 1, but it's not a position 1. Is it? Oh no, okay, they're all just going bot?
They're probably gonna try and contest the bottom rune.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah, fair enough then.
Looks like Manticore is gonna try and come out and fight. They're smoking up to try and contest this rune.
So Manticore trying something new for sure. They are able to stay just out of range to prevent the smoke from popping, but it is going to pop right about now, and the smoke does end up popping the 𝗀𝗏.
Stun goes down on the town.
Landing on the 𝗀𝗏, and together with the slows and another stun coming out, and the 𝗀𝗏 should fall. Tinker picking up that kill. The rest of the Dire just trying to get out of there, but another stun coming up from the Lion, and it looks like the Grim will fall. The hook from the 𝗃 bring the Treant under the tower.
𝗃's trying to get the Treant. He gets it as well. 2-for-1 trade.
So Manticore switching things up a little bit this time, being aggressive from the get-go. The game hasn't even started. The runes haven't even spawned, and it looks like they've already gotten 2 kills on themselves. So I think this is what they need to do, especially against Leviathan A that went for that 𝗀𝗏 position 1. 𝗀𝗏 is a great hero late game, but as a position 1, maybe not, especially since you only really have that 𝗀𝗏𝗀𝗏 assassin as a result of that in terms of damage.
Yeah.
So Manticore A bring the early game in their favor, taking down the 𝗀𝗏, which is actually on the off lane, meaning that it's a what? Winter Wyvern carry? 𝗃 carry?
I think they're gonna try for a 𝗃 carry, honestly. 𝗃 post 1, here we go.
There we go. Okay, I'm gonna straight up say I have never seen this in my game before. And with the slow from the Wyvern, but it's about to end, and they will let him go, but it looks like over on bot lane, the 𝗀𝗏 will end up falling to Manticore as well, so the Gyrocopter picking up that kill, and Manticore happy with this slight early game lead. Perhaps Leviathan's cheesy little lineup here might end up biting them.
Manticore going in for a second kill at bottom lane. Will it be enough to get the Grimstroke? Yes, it will.
The last hit also going the way of the carry. Well, this is what we want to be seeing.
Yeah. This is what we wanted to see in the previous game as well, but it's too late to talk about that.
Perhaps if we can look at the last hits. The lanes seem to be fairly even. It's pretty much anyone's game in terms of last hits. Even in terms of kills, those early game, it will mess up the tempo a little bit, but
It's just a small hiccup for now. We'll see how they manage to power through that small hiccups.
And if we've learned anything from the last game, Leviathan and their timing is going to be, it's going to bring them back into the game. Like, it doesn't matter if you have a little bit of a hiccup. As soon as they have a bunch of items, they know what abilities they have that is off cooldown, they will smoke and they will go for it.
Yeah.
So
Manticore needs to be careful not to give up any free kills to Leviathan since they are now in the lead. Mid lane having some exchanges.
it looks like they might decide to make another move onto the Night Stalker. A lot of flow coming out the Winter Wyvern as well as the Pudge Rod, and they will be able to bring down the Night Stalker.
Lion couldn't do much there for his teammate.
They need this. I think it's important that Leviathan is active in the early game. I think they are the. I think both teams have relatively early game heroes, but I think Leviathan, like, if they don't get kills now, once it's nighttime,
that's when the Night Stalker comes. That's when the Night Stalker is active. Could be trying
a little bit of a
Night Stalker
cheeky play.
here.
I don't think they're going to go for a kill or anything here. Just gonna get in a little bit of damage, push them away. The Night Stalker actually getting the infused raindrop.
It works well on the Winter.
Does Ern still use raindrop?
No, it does not. So the raindrop is probably just for the Winter's Ice Blast and for a bit of Pudge's second skill, Rod damage.
But I don't think Rod deals enough damage to pop the raindrop, so... And I think Hook is still pure, so I guess it's just for the Wyvern.
Yeah, just for Wyvern. So what do you think about the mid matchup here?
I think in a matchup like this, usually I'd want to say it's Tinker's game, but given that there's no March anymore, because you could just March and just get rid of all the refraction charges. Well, look at that. I mean, given that he can't just use March right now,
the refraction is just super useful against Tinker right now. Yeah.
That laser was completely blocked by the refraction, maybe just preventing him from getting a bunch of CS. But aside from that, I think given the changes and given it's a QW Tinker now, I would say Templar Assassin would be happy with that lane. Meanwhile, over on bottom lane, Treant Protector, one of the two supports that will just beat you out of lane, the other one being Elder Titan. And in this case also being able to get an early kill.
Where's the Grim? What is he doing? So while the Doom is out, the Grim should be in the lane and getting some farm while he can.
The hook,
from
he actually does end up landing it, but will the Treant armor be enough? It won't. He does end up falling. So what is the current level of living armor right now? Could we take a look at Treant?
Level 1.
Alright. So like some Treant players like to not put any points in living armor at all. They would just go for a very focus on my lane kind of thing. Perhaps that is what he should have done, especially since the living armor didn't even end up saving the Lion. But they're probably pretty frustrated at top, laning against the Wyvern and the Pudge. They must have been like, yo, give me living armor, I need help.
Yeah.
So the first night, the Night Stalker probably will get a little bit of an edge in the lane. Doesn't look like
he's gonna do much though.
Just bring him a little bit back into the game. The CS still relatively even, but Pudge does have a little bit more in terms of the CS. And as sort of expected in mid lane, with the changes to Tinker, not playing much of the machines, using laser and missile against Templar Assassin. Templar Assassin is quite a hit in terms of the last hits. So the cheeky little play by Manticore in the early game, getting those 2 kills. It looks like Leviathan is starting to make the game theirs. Kind of reminiscent of the last game.
What a hook.
Perhaps will he be able to get away? It looks like
he might just get away with it. 40 HP on the Lion.
So that was a pretty close one. It looks like over in bottom jungle. 𝗀𝗿𝗄𝗏 with the ulti, but it looks like it's going to be 1-for-1 trade. The Doom actually does end up falling to the neutrals. As a result of that, it looks like Leviathan actually get a 2-for-none. A little bit of a slowdown, I guess, for the Doom for dying, but he died to neutrals.
So at least it doesn't give them the enemy team any goal. So that's pretty good.
And just like that, Leviathan is in the lead. And Leviathan being in the lead with that matchup is not what you want to see. They are going to start running at you pretty soon. Your first night is already going to go, and we are back to daytime.
Gyro is queuing up for first item X, which in my opinion, not the best item choice.
Yeah. We are going to make a little bit of a move. I don't think they'll get the kill.
Run down on the Doom.
But yeah, like you said, it's a little bit interesting and possibly not right. Hold that thought. It looks like we are going to have another perfect hook coming out from Dandy on top. So
I think that's 4 stacks of Flash Heap so far in the patch. Give him that little bit of extra magic immunity.
That's actually level 3.
Level 3 rod.
Level 3 rod.
This is the new meta.
Together with the slow from the Winter Wyvern and the rod, it's just it's hard to get away, and especially if you have Dandy's skills. So far, we have just seen the initiations coming from that hook. He's always catching that lion, and that's a problem.
It's always on point.
So going back to what you said earlier about the
Axe on Gyro.
Yeah, I think it's I don't see where the synergy comes into play either. Like, why do you want a first item?
Well, generally the first item X comes in when you're winning the game for you to farm even faster. However, in this game, it doesn't look like they were winning in the first few minutes, but things turned around a bit, and I don't think the Axe will be a good item this game for now. Especially since they want to keep fighting as much as they can. So the Gyro won't be active until he actually gets his Axe, which I would estimate to be around the 15-20 minute mark. And by then, the patch is going to be running around and hooking everyone.
Perhaps Manticore might have just decided, or an unfortunate miss from the patch, and it looks like that Hawk might get in range, but no, the turnaround, the stun coming out, and it looks like it's going to be the patch. The one is going to fall, the Gyro tipping in as well, the Wyvern trying to turn heel and get away, the Gyro, the Grimstroke also still being chased. The Gyrocopter is going for that, and with the last nuke coming out from the Night Stalker, it's going to be a 3-for-none trade. That was a good response from Manticore, a very good response from Manticore. Yeah. That's exactly what they needed, and now they have a slight net worth advantage. It was initially a play from Leviathan, trying to go in, missing that hook, deciding to just jump, go forward, and try to get in range of that rod. But the TPs from the Gyrocopter turned it around, and it becomes a 3-for-none.
Gyro actually being a little bit greedy here, pushing it alone without his team.
The Wyvern dropping the ultimate, and that looks like they're going to secure 2 easy kills right now. Looks like Manticore, they do decide to support, but are they actually going to get something in return? You've already lost your Lion and your Gyrocopter instantly. There's probably no reason to TP at this point, and in fact, it looks like TPing might actually make them end up dying, but Leviathan does call off the hunt, and as a result, Manticore will be able to cut their losses at 2. But still, pretty much useless TPs. They might as well have stayed on their lanes and just get farmed wherever they were.
TA taking the tier 1 mid tower.
I think that was a...
I think that was a good fight. That was a good fight for Leviathan especially.
Definitely, 100%. But I think Manticore should have acknowledged right away as soon as the Winter's Curse was dropped. Lion is dead, Gyrocopter is dead. Just don't come. Let them die. That's it.
Yeah.
But deciding to come and just...
They might have overcommitted a little. Yeah.
But they managed to stay alive, so that's good, I guess. So the Templar Assassin looks to be building her Desolator. Two stacks of Ancients. The Templar Assassin has already gotten the first Mithril Hammer, so Leviathan getting back into their mojo, getting back into their tempo. And hopefully that's not what we see, because personally I'd like to see a third game. I'd like to see an exciting second game. I'd like to see something that's competitive. I'd like to see Manticore be able to not repeat the mistakes they made previously. But
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Can we get a
attack.
quick look at the Tinker's items? See what they have. See what he's got. He's got a blink, same items as previous game.
don't make the same mistake now. It's go time, and it looks like they have learned from their previous game. They know it's go time. They stop. They make it night time, and they are about to fight right now. They've already gotten one kill down. The buyback coming out from their Grimstroke. They intend on dragging this fight out, and perhaps it was the right decision to make, because they do end up getting the Night Stalker, and maybe they might even try to go for more. The Tinker's still alive. The stun barely missing the Tinker, TPing out just on time, and they will leave it at a 1-for-1 trade, but it is in Leviathan's favor because it was the Night Stalker falling on the side of Manticore. Meanwhile, it was only the Grimstroke, the position 5 falling for Leviathan. The buyback probably not so important either. So once again, Leviathan making the right plays, responding well, TPing out right away. I think Manticore did the right thing. They knew it was go time, which is different from, I feel, what happened in the previous game.
Yeah.
This time they took advantage of it, but they dove the tier 1, which probably wasn't what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
The Pudge, having the Hood of Defiance together with the 7 stacks of Flash Shield, is pretty tanky, pretty comfortable right now. And it looks like he is actually going to go for a first major item, BKB.
Come think about it. BKB, very useful item this game. Against the Tinker, Night Stalker, Lion, Treant, BKB, and you're fine against them.
Yeah, I think it's a very in-your-face item when going against Manticore heroes. Like, he would just be able to walk them down and just rot them down and not be able to be stopped, not being able to be controlled by any of the heroes inside of Manticore. So it looks like we might see a little bit of a skirmish breakout. The Treant going to be the first to fall, and it's just a small little play here. They won't even decide to go for Roshan. So just a little pick off. Nothing much happening. Leviathan just getting themselves a small little kill. But if they manage to get this kill on this Night Stalker, that would be different. And they're still going for the chase. And it doesn't look like Manticore intend on responding to this. And that means that the Night Stalker will be falling. So that's a 2-for-none trade. Leviathan definitely getting the best of the situation right now, and probably going to go for perhaps the tier 2 towers if they feel like it. Probably, no, they just play safe. I think that's the better choice to make. Yeah, go for more, why not?
Yeah.
They've still got their ultimates. I think Winter's Curse might still be, Winter's Curse is also online. So
yeah. All the ultimates are online.
A little bit of a miss there, but they could just run at him. It looks like the Pudge has caught someone. The Treant will fall. The Lion probably running for his life right now. But the Lion will end up following the Doom, being the only one giving chase, but being more than enough. And they will decide to go for Roshan. And why not? I think they have Desolator on the Temple Assassin already. They do. So should be a pretty easy Roshan. Manticore is in no position to contest this right now, especially being 2 heroes down.
Can we check on the Gyro? Maybe he's gotten his eggs and he can farm. He's coming to the game soon. Yes, he does have his eggs and he's going for a Yasha play.
2,000 gold in the bank as well, so Sanj and Yasha might be able to do something, but Leviathan, I think this is what I would call perfect timing. They're executing their timings perfectly. They're doing everything they need to be doing. They're playing so disciplined. They've been getting kills, they smoke, they get a kill, they go to Roshan, they smoke again. Look at that. It's so disciplined. They are just using all their timings. They still have their ultimates off cooldown. The previous fight where they killed the 2 supports, they didn't actually use any major cooldown, any major ultimates. So why not keep going for more? Manticore has no space to breathe. Looks like they did try to go for top, which was the wrong way. They do pick up a Lion, not really much.
But it is nighttime, so hopefully the Night Stalker wants to try and pick a fight right now.
I think they will lose a fight. Now is not Hopefully I'm wrong, because we do see a fight break out right now, but the Lion is still respawning, so they are fighting 4v5, but they might be able to get this done. The Doom already falling, the Grimstroke as well. But that isn't going to happen. Leviathan still keeping the lead. So, well, it might be a shorter night today.
It's a very quick fight for Leviathan, cleaning up.
It's a little bit more competitive than the last one. That's something that that is a little bit more fun to watch. In the previous team fights, like you said earlier, it was constantly team wipes or 4-for-1s, 5-for-1s. This time it's a little bit more competitive, but Leviathan is still getting the upper hand.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to skill at this point.
I think Templar Assassin had the Aegis, right?
Yeah.
Does she still have the Aegis?
The Templar didn't go down just last fight. Yeah.
She does. So in that case, go again. It's I don't remember what time they did, Roche, but they could probably.
They could probably go for round 2, but all their big ultimates are off cooldown. Sorry, they're on cooldown. So the only viable ganking heroes currently would be the Grimstroke and the 𝗶𝗀. Good for single target kills, but not so for 3v3s.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I think this game is a little bit like previously. Alright, well, so Manticore looks like they may be able to get a tier 1 tower here, so that's good I guess, but it's kind of a harder game to come back from compared to the previous game, just because previously I would have said smoke team fight, but this time smoking and team fighting, I don't think is the right thing to do either, so perhaps they are doing the right thing right now, just playing a little bit more cautious, farm a little bit, they probably have the stronger late game. Take a free tier 1 tower if you can. They will actually decide to smoke now. The Gyro does have the Yasha, so perhaps they feel like it's go time now, and they are pretty close. There might be an engagement, the scan coming out as well, so they know that that Leviathan is ready to take this fight, and I think they're making the right decision here right now, 100%. Just back off, don't fight into the Leviathan Aegis, especially since they knew that there was probably going to be a team fight rather than just a pick-off. So I think that was the right thing to do, and Leviathan, with bad intentions here, intend on using their Aegis. This is like, they're using smokes as soon as it goes off cooldown.
Yeah,
they're just fighting
as many fights as they can.
It looks like we're about to have a fight over on the Radiant bottom jungle, the Grimstroke dropping his ulti. The Lion probably going to be the first to fall, the Doom already in the confrontation. The Lion does end up falling. No, he doesn't. With like
Lion
what,
survives.
50 HP or something, the Lion does get away.
The Lion has managed to defy death twice now in this game. One in the early game and one now.
I'm surprised nothing happened here. I thought Leviathan would push for more, but
they only committed one ulti, so yeah.
I think this basically just means that Templar, that they don't have to fight Aegis now. But perhaps not, because Leviathan is instantly ready to go again. The Templar does have a double damage. So Manticore, please just go back if you...
Surprisingly, the 𝗶𝗀's not going for his Axe yet, because that's like kind of a core item if you were to play post 1 𝗶𝗀. Going for a Blink instead.
Yeah, I think Blink is the right item to go here, especially when you got the BKB. Like, the game right now for 𝗶𝗀 is all up in your face. So get the Blink Dagger, just blink in, BKB, Rot, and we're just all up in their face. The Doom counter-initiating on the Lion after the Lion tried to get a sneaky finger of death on the 𝗶𝗀. I am not sure why you would try to finger the 𝗶𝗀 with the Flash Heap and the Hood of Defiance, but...
It's the effort that counts, alright?
Looks like a free kill going the way of Leviathan. Perhaps they might want to try going for more. Doesn't seem like it. They are in fact just opting to just back off.
They might actually see the Gyro here. Might try to make a play on him.
Yeah, Gyro is all alone. It looks like his team is behind him, but if they can just dish out enough damage quickly, they might be able to bring him down, and it looks like that's exactly what is going to happen. The Gyro is already found, the Tinker is on the cliff. And he's doomed as well. That's going to be a kill for sure. The Tinker falls as well, and the post 1 and post 2 are down, and that means the Manticore is going to lose the fight for sure. The Lion on his back foot.
Gets the hook back, chasing the Lion. Does he have enough movement speed for it though?
If the Pudge falls here, that's going to be pretty funny considering he's pretty tanky, but
he misses the hook
misses
again
as well. The Lion playing with them a little bit, but the Wyvern will get that last hit.
He might have almost managed to defy death 3 times, but I guess third time's just not the charm for him.
And it's a 3 for nothing, and it's kind of the same as before. It's kind of on the back of small mistakes coming up from the side of Manticore. I think they've played a lot better this game, in my opinion, in terms of their decision making, deciding when to go back, deciding when to attack. It's been pretty good. It's just that
just that Leviathan has been executing it much better than they have.
Exactly. I think the execution has been lacking a little bit in terms of actually carrying it out. But in terms of knowing when was their timings, it's been pretty good. But the most recent fight, I think that's just Gyrocopter being out of position. The hook fortunately missing. If it hit the Gyrocopter there, then we could probably just say goodnight. But
Manticore going in for the fight now.
It looks like, yeah, Manticore does end up turning it around. The Night Stalker is already in there, but the BKB all up in your face. The Winter Wyvern does actually end up falling, and Radiant might be able to pull it off, but
where's the TA?
Where is the TA?
Templar's going on the Lion.
So the Doom getting the stun off as well, and it looks like the Gyrocopter might fall. The Templar is here as well, and that's going to be a guaranteed fall. And once Gyro goes, Gyro is the only one that might have been able to salvage that. I think it was a fairly close fight this time.
It was a fairly close fight, but the Templar came in and just swept the floor. So Manticore will probably want to work more on trying to lock down this Templar before she can dish out damage. But at the same time, they have to worry about the Doom ult, Grimstroke, and the Wyvern Curse. So very tough game for them indeed.
The previous fight was kind of like all over the place, but for what it's worth, I think the Gyrocopter managed to last quite a bit longer. In fact, as you can actually see, the Gyrocopter is actually second highest. So the Gyrocopter is second highest on the net worth chart. So the Gyrocopter is definitely still in this game.
Yeah.
And
if you look at his items, King for Satanic. Yeah, I feel like in that fight, if he had a Satanic, he would have won it definitely.
I think it was also, yeah, I think you're right. I think Satanic is, and he's right also. I think Satanic is the right item to do it. I would have wanted to say BKB, but hold that thought because it looks like the Gyrocopter has gone on again, and the Doom drops as well, and as a result, it looks like the Gyrocopter is 100% going to fall, and with that, it looks like the team fight is 100% going to go the way of Leviathan. Anyone else that stays is just going to fall. The Tinker probably needs to get out of that ASAP. All of them for that matter, and it looks like they will cut the losses at 3. The Gyrocopter again, that's not what we want to see at all. The Gyrocopter just gets initiated on, and once the Doom is out, without the team being able to back him up, and even if the team was there, it's not like he has a Wyvern or something, since the Wyvern's on the other side, to be able to hold him while the Doom is there. As a result, Leviathan just getting another great team fight, which
I'm pretty sure that cost them the game already.
I think it's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate that twice in a row, a cheeky little play by the Lion getting that kill on the Doom. The tip as well, the friendly tip from Pudge on the Doom for being a little bit out of position. But I think it's a little bit unfortunate. I wouldn't want to call it the Gyrocopter's fault. Perhaps it'd be nicer to say that it was Leviathan just being really aware of where Manticore was. And because it's been twice in a row that
they managed to catch the Gyro off guard.
Gyrocopter gets caught and things just go south. The gap between the Pudge and the Gyrocopter as well is not so far as before.
Yeah, and if you look at this game closely, for Manticore, if the Gyro actually falls, they are left with Tinker and probably Night Stalker to do the defending against a Templar and a Pudge, which honestly, I don't think they can do it.
I think it probably depends as well on how late into the game it goes, but yeah, pretty comfortably until 40-50 minutes, like the all-up-in-your-face strategy is still going to work better. At the same time, we don't want to see the 4 or 5 second BKB, The shortest BKB...
6 seconds.
Is it really 6 seconds now?
6 seconds, yeah.
So it's what, 6, 7, 8?
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
6, 7, 8, 9. Are you sure is that still 10?
Yes. Can we go and look at Pudge?
Let's hover over a BKB if you don't mind.
6, 7, 8, 9.
6, 7, 8, 9, that's right. It used to be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now it's... well, I guess if it's 6, it's not so bad, but even later into the game.
But still, if, let's say the Gyro pops a BKB and the Pudge just locks him down with his ult, Gyro's BKB becomes effectively useless.
A smoke play coming out from the side of Leviathan. It looks like we are going to see another team fight right now, but Manticore seems to be ready to take this team fight. They are all gathered over in top lane, but the Gyro is overextending again. Are we going to see history repeating for the 3rd time? Because that Gyrocopter is... Well, no, he is in the trees, but...
Lion disconnected.
If they know, I'm not sure if the Dire Creeps spotted the Gyrocopter, but if they know that he's in the trees right now and they just get a quick jump and nuke him, it might be another stomp from Leviathan. It looks like they will just go for a safe tier 1 Manticore as well, not deciding to contest it, which is the right decision to make here.
And the Gyro safely TP's out.
Leviathan did stay for a little while more over in the Radiant Triangle, but Manticore not overextending this time, and they only end up losing their tier 1.
Roche is back up, if I'm not mistaken, so Leviathan would definitely want to take Roche and then push the high ground.
Double damage as well on the Templar Assassin, so an easy solo Roshan for them. Radiant actually knows because they do have a deep ward.
Tinker gets doomed.
That's going to be a kill for
easy
sure.
Kill for Leviathan,
It's Tinker's turn this time to take away a little bit of the blame from the Gyrocopter. Getting caught out, getting doomed, and with the Aegis as well. You can actually see the observer ward right outside the Roshan pit that was placed by Manticore. So I think they were fully aware of the Roshan attempt, but they just knew they couldn't do a thing about it. And in fact, with the Tinker as well getting caught, it kind of boils down to 2 things, because you don't want to leave your base to fight under 2 situations, in my opinion. One, to contest Roshan, or the other thing they could do is basically just high ground defense, which is what they're doing now instead.
Hold that thought, Leviathan seems to be diving in and backing off again.
It looks like they will be able to get a clean tier 3, Manticore not able to fight this, opting to use that fortification and having the Tinker respawn, but the Hulk coming out, catching the Gyro perfectly. And with the Grimstroke ultimate as well, the Winter Wyvern, the Winter's Curse, it looks like Manticore are going to fall by the buyback coming out from the Gyrocopter. The Gyrocopter might be able to re-engage into this fight, but Manticore is just dropping like flies, and as a result, Leviathan still able to hold this fight. Not a single, well, 2 players falling down actually on the side of Leviathan, but they are using the buybacks. The Gyrocopter almost about to fall for the 2nd time, but he just managed to get out of there. If the Gyrocopter died there with the buyback, that was probably going to be game. But
Pudge goes down.
The Night Stalker does end up falling. The Gyrocopter barely escaped from that 2nd skirmish. He died pretty early. He got hooked by the Pudge, brilliant hook by the Pudge, getting him out of base and dropping him. But if he died there, it would have been a dieback. And with the Templar Assassin still alive, that was going to be a free tier 3, probably free Rex as well. And that was going to make the game a lot quicker. Right now, we're 30 minutes into the game, so we're reaching the point where in the last game, we actually saw Leviathan ending it. And for what it's worth, like we might actually be saying the same thing right now, because Leviathan is very strong. They have a 14,000 net worth advantage, which is more, I think, than what they had in the previous game when they had that high ground siege. So Leviathan pretty comfortable right now. In fact, Manticore, if we could look at the buyback statuses on Manticore, I'm not sure how much Manticore committed to that.
Looks like none of the heroes have buyback.
Yeah, 2 buybacks, the Night Stalker and the Gyrocopter. So that's like your two front line heroes, your 2 physical damage heroes are the ones without buyback. So all it takes right now for the next 6 minutes, if either of them fall, Leviathan are just going to sweep. So Leviathan still playing a very disciplined game. Not just going full Davai, they are going to go for that tier 2 over on bottom lane.
Can we take a quick look at the Tinker, please?
He went for
overwhelming blink on a Tinker. That's a questionable item, honestly, because Tinker's strength pool isn't that high, and I mean, I see what he's trying to do, but yeah, I think he's just memeing at this point.
That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. It's a farming item.
I see. So he's still getting an Agadim shard for his Master of the Machines. Why not an overwhelming blink and Shiva's? It only costs like 5,000 more.
I think at this point it's like, don't bother, just like...
I think the Tinker needs a Hex. Then he can at least help his team to control more of the enemies.
I think they need a Hex. You're right. I think if they have a Hex, if they can just shut someone down. But just the synergy on the side of Leviathan is just extremely annoying. Like the Grimstroke and the Wyvern and the support is just dropping their ultimates. Like, who do you hex? It's you could disable the Templar Assassin, but the Pudge is there beating you down, and the Doom as well. So,
tough game. Leviathan looks like they're not going to be pushing this time around.
The Gyrocopter looks like he's actually almost got his Satanic, which would be able to prolong his survivability in team fights quite a little bit more. But
I think at this rate, since the Templar has already gotten her Daedalus, his Satanic might not be as effective as it was 5-10 minutes ago.
It looks like they are going to make an initiation right now, and I think it's a good play by them. They are able to bring down the Grimstroke, the Templar Assassin being gone on next, but she pops the BKB, the Winter Scourge coming out on the Stream Protector, which just messed up their tempo. And as a result, it looks like Leviathan will snatch back control of this game, the Grimstroke buying back as well. The Doom being used on the Gyrocopter, which means that the Gyrocopter will fall, and the Gyrocopter is gone for 100 seconds with no buyback. And all heroes alive on the side of Leviathan, the only one to fall being the Grimstroke, who used the buyback, and that means that they are going to be able to push. We will see if they go for a safe... Oh, it looks like the tier 2 is actually gone, so in which case, yeah, just push mid. The Tinker knows that there's absolutely no point holding buyback because Leviathan is going to push, so just decide to just push out top lane at least, not have all the lanes pushed in.
They decide not to go straight for the tier 4s, and instead they're taking the bottom lane tier 3s.
Yeah, I think that's the right play to make as well. And the Radiant as well doing exactly what they need to do, which is not much, to be honest. Just keeping top and pushing out top just for the sake of getting a little bit of farm and not letting the top creeps push out and they're having another lane to worry about, because right now there's nothing much they can do until the Gyrocopter comes back, and that's only going to be in 40 seconds because the Gyrocopter is respawning from a dieback this time. So an extra long respawn time, and Leviathan happy to go for the final lane of Rex, the top tier 3 being gone on right now. The Tinker in the trees. If they know he's there, if they jump on him right now, that would be... But they do decide to back off, knowing that there's 50 seconds left on the Gyrocopter and they aren't... they are a little bit low. They do decide to play it safe, which is what we have seen from Leviathan throughout this series. In game 1 as well, it's just been discipline from the side of Leviathan. Going when they should go, backing off when they should back off. Because I mean, it wouldn't be uncommon to see them just go, let's go tier 3. What is Manticore going to do about it? We have a 20k net worth advantage. We have our items. We're just considerably stronger. Why delay the game? But they do decide to play it a lot more...
extra safe. So we're getting a phone call here.
I'm not sure if the Aegis is online or if it was you. So I'm not sure if Roshan...
Aegis is gone. Aegis is gone.
Okay, so Aegis is gone as well. So Roshan has not responded. So I'm not sure if they might decide to just wait for that. But what do you do if you're Manticore? What is your comeback plan?
Comeback? honestly, I think that all they can do now is create as much space as they can for the gyro and give an opening to like freely attack the enemy team as much as they can. And the Tinkers just keep pushing out the lanes.
I think they have the survivability on the side of on the gyrocopter, given that he has a Satanic right now, but like the gyrocopter alone isn't going to be able to do much, and like we have seen before, what use is the Satanic like when you get jumped on and doomed?
Yeah.
So
then again, the crit on the TA as well, the Daedalus, Swift Blink, and the Desolator. If he blinks up right next to the gyro is just going to go down, even with all his ultis and the Satanic.
I think it's also been a little bit of perhaps an outpick. Like Manticore is struggling to deal with all the different things that Leviathan can do to you. Like you get what's it called? The ultimate from the Grimstroke, the Soulbind, something like that.
Soulbind.
You get the Winter's Curse. You get the Doom. You get the Dismember from the Fudge. It's just all big ultimates, and it's all just completely disabling the only damage dealers on the side of Manticore. Because when you disable the gyrocopter, that's it. Your damage is kind of gone. I mean, the Night Stalker does do some damage to Tinker as well, but the gyrocopter is definitely like your main damage dealer. And the gyrocopter, I mean, considering that they had to go for the Satanic as well, it's
looks like the gyrocopter's getting a blink here. Not sure what for.
It's a difficult game to play if you're Manticore. I think what they needed was different heroes to kind of like deal with this very aggressive and one hero just like or by Lincolns, I guess.
Yeah. I think the Night Stalker should be queuing up what's it called? Lotus Orb. He should have gotten it as his third item at least. Since look at all the abilities. It's all targeted. Fudge, Grimstroke, Wyvern, Doom. All targeted abilities. A Lotus Orb, perfect.
And look at that. The Doom catching the gyrocopter out alone, and once the Doom is out, I'm not sure if the Doom has Aghanim Scepter, but if he does, that's 100% gone. But it looks like a TP from the Tinker will come out, which lets the gyrocopter survive, and they turn it around. And it looks like the Doom will be the one that may end up falling here. The Tinker forced to use the BKB, and they will bring down the Doom. So it looks like Manticore able to get a very, very good turnaround here in a way. The Doom, I thought he was going to get the gyrocopter for sure. The gyrocopter was pretty low there, but the Tinker with a little bit of a sneaky TP and being able to bring down that Doom, that makes a big difference right now. Like that's exactly what they need. That's best case scenario for Manticore right now.
Yeah. You know how I said the overwhelming blink was quite a questionable buy? I'm starting to think that's a pretty good buy, and I will definitely use that next game.
Yeah. It's good for the farm. You can spam it. So we'll see how that sets them back. I think Leviathan perhaps a little bit happy as well to experience being on their back foot. The
Night Stalker
will get caught using the silence, which stopped the bite, but the Budge does use the BKB.
Roshan is up, and it looks like the Tinker. Oh no, the TA is trying to go for Roshan.
So I think Leviathan probably a little bit happy to just be chilling a little bit now. They've been kind of dominating most of this game. A lot actually more competitive than the first game, I would say, but still definitely in favor of Leviathan, and right now it's very much in favor of Leviathan. But bringing down that Doom earlier.
Oh, look at this. If the Grimstroke takes the Aghanim's Blessing and he gets the skill, basically he creates an illusion of a hero on the enemy team which does a lot of damage. So if he takes that and uses it on the gyro, that would be like having a gyro just hit your backlines for you.
Well, I think the right person got the Aghanim Scepter. The Doom getting the Aghanim Scepter was definitely the better play here. Because I think what we've been seeing so far, the fact that Manticore doesn't have a Lincoln or a Lotus Orb is kind of disappointing. and the Doom is taking full advantage of that. They need a Lincolns on the gyrocopter so bad. Maybe not the gyrocopter buying it per se, but he just needs the Lincolns because he's getting doomed all the time, and it looks like he did.
They managed to bring the TA closer to them, and the gyro gets doomed again.
The Doom did end up actually going out on the gyrocopter anyway, and because of that, the gyrocopter has to retreat. And when you don't have a gyrocopter, what's going to happen? The rest of the team's going to fall. The Tinker dying without buyback, and it looks like this might be the end of the game. The Leviathan happy to camp outside of the fountain right now, just hooking them out. The gyrocopter is still alive. I'm not sure the gyrocopter might have buyback, but what's the point? The Tinker is dead, and they are just going to dive the fountain, and the gyrocopter will fall, and that will be the end of the game. GG gets called right after, and that will be the end of game 2. So we won't be seeing a third game in this series. Leviathan sweeping them 2-0. Leviathan with the perfect execution. I think I should correct myself because I think Manticore might have actually had a Lincolns. I think I saw the Lincolns on Gyro in that last fight. I'm not sure if they had it earlier. I don't think I saw it. But the other thing
definitely came a bit too late.
Yeah. It came a bit too late, but perhaps they might have had it earlier. I'm not sure, but even in that last fight, despite him having the Lincoln's debuff, Gyrocopter still ended up getting doomed.
Yeah.
And still ended up having to walk all the way back to base. And so I think it's just been a series of just perhaps...
a series of unfortunate events.
A series of unfortunate events, but it's just been the same thing going on. It's been the same thing where the Doom always gets his ultimate out on the Gyrocopter. And once the Gyrocopter gets doomed, it's just... he can't do anything. They can't do anything. I think Manticore kind of has to rely on that Gyrocopter quite a bit. The Gyrocopter going for survivability items like the Satanic, for instance.
And the Sage and Yasha.
The Sage and Yasha, not getting more. He did get the Sight Gunner from the Aghanim Scepter, but didn't have the damage items to go with it. Didn't have like a Daedalus or something like that. He was farming Daedalus quite later in the game. In fact, trying to get it after the Blink Dagger, if I'm not mistaken. And like at that stage, if your Gyrocopter is supposed to be the one dealing the damage, but you're getting doomed and having to run all the way back, you kind of can't fight. You can't fight. And as you can see from the score here, the Gyrocopter having 10 deaths, not entirely the Gyrocopter's fault for sure. I think it was Leviathan just constantly knowing when to press the assault and playing very aggressive yet safe. They knew when to go. They knew when to go back. And when it was time to go, they went. They got those pickoffs. They knew where the enemies were. It was constantly a case of them like we saw Tinker getting picked off in the trees a couple of times. I think it's just good game sense from Leviathan, knowing when to go, and I think it's kind of a repeat of the first game in that matter. So but what did you think of the game?
Well, I think that the fault all started from Gyrocopter's first item, the Aghanim Scepter. The item, it's a big item and it doesn't really provide much apart from the side cannon, and that just took too long to come. If he went for another item, for example, Mjolnir, I think he would have been able to be in the fights a lot earlier, and he would be able to help his teammates a lot earlier as well. And that might have made the difference in this game, since Leviathan really just steamrolled them even after and during while he was getting his Aghanim Scepter.
I think that's probably true. I think Manticore once again failed to kind of get themselves a significant advantage in the early game. I think the first thing they did this game, which was nice to see, was they went for a level 1 smoke and got 2 kills, which was good. But then things started to turn around. Leviathan probably also just being the better players in many ways, and the early game started to slowly go out of favor, go out of Manticore's grasps, and Leviathan just executing the game plan really well. Yeah. And I think from then on out, the main thing that has been making Leviathan win this game is just the timing, their game sense. I think that has definitely been the big thing, because we have seen perhaps the technical abilities. We have seen Manticore play pretty well in terms of like their technical abilities, their CS and things like that, and we have seen good responses from them as well, tipping out. But I think Leviathan, their team synergy was just very good. They probably they knew when to go. They knew when to take team fights, and when they took team fights,
they were very disciplined about it as
well. They were very disciplined about it, and that's how they won the game. So I think we had a very exciting series, and we are going to go for a break now.
Oh, this is the end.
It's the end of the stream, right?
Yeah.
So, well, thank you for tuning in.
Thanks a lot, guys. And we're hoping to see a lot more from Leviathan A during the actual Monash Cup itself, since this was just a scrim.
I think they're definitely a team to be looking at. They were very, very exciting to watch, and they just had 2 dominating games against Manticore. So I've had fun hosting this game, so thank you very much for tuning in. I'm 𝗀𝗲𝗂𝗏.
I'm Sean, and thanks for watching.
It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity.